This story of the Exodus Sea Crossing is where it all began for me over 18 years ago. I can't explain exactly why I've been so taken with this account that I would risk my own business and personal life to explore these questions. I just knew it was something I had to pursue. And after all those years, I did find a pattern of evidence showing that the Exodus and conquest happened, and that Moses really could have written about these events as an eyewitness account. However, there are still major questions about where the Israelites traveled, what sea they crossed, and where Mount Sinai really is. In fact, after Israel gained control of the Sinai Peninsula in 1967, they searched extensively for evidence of their history. But no trace of the Exodus journey was found at the traditional locations. But have we been looking in the right places? If we can determine which sea was crossed, it could give clues about where to look for Mount Sinai. So now for me, the first issue in the Exodus journey is the Red Sea miracle. What sea was really parted, and could there still be evidence? One thing I've discovered in this investigation is that there are two main approaches that explain this event in very different ways. The first I call the Egyptian approach. It sees the events of the Exodus happening on a small scale and puts the sea crossing at one of the swampy lakes near Egypt's border. Those using this Egyptian approach tend to explain the parting of the waters by natural forces such as wind. This is by far the majority view among scholars today. The second view I call the Hebrew approach. It sees the events of the Exodus on a much larger scale and places the miraculous sea crossing far from Egypt at the Red Sea's Gulf of Aqaba. This is because they emphasize the entire narrative of the Bible, which they believe geographically points to this location and describes a big miracle that could only be explained by the power of God. And some people I interviewed had a combination of both views. The difference between these two approaches is dramatic. One interprets the Exodus as very small, and the other as very large. This also applies to the question of miracles. Was it a big miracle, or was it a small miracle? Because where you put the sea crossing determines the